Thank you for being here this afternoon. My first question, does the department have any numbers on the percentage of Cuban fuel imports that relied on shadow fleets, Russian, Venezuelan, or otherwise?
Mr. Chair, thank you. That's a very interesting question. In terms of shadow fleets, no, we don't, to the best of my knowledge, have details on the percentage. What we do know is that Cuba is able to roughly supply between 30 and 50% of its own energy needs, electricity needs, through a combination of solar power, which it's in the process of developing, through its own oil and gas resources, and that it made up the bulk of what it was not able to supply. It's not able to supply domestically through imports, principally previously from Venezuela and then from Mexico. And we understand that it has also received fuel exports from a variety of other countries in the past, imports I should say, from a variety of other countries in the past as well.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong. Is it correct that our government recently implemented additional sanctions on the Russian shadow fleet? And is this expected to have any effects in the Caribbean?
Unfortunately, I don't have those details at hand in terms of who we have input sanctions on. That is something that, Chair, with your permission, I would follow up with if that's of interest to the member.
That would be great. Thank you. Has the department done an assessment on the stability of the regime in Havana in the wake of the disruption of Cuba's oil supply?
Mr. Chair, well, an evaluation may be going further than what I would say. We certainly do monitor what is going on in the country and remain engaged to be able to understand what is happening on the ground. Despite the lack of fuel being imported due to the U.S. measures in particular, what I can say is that the Cuban government appears to be quite stable. It has developed itself through all areas of the economy and society in Cuba, and shows no indication of being unstable at this time.
Could you speak to what coordination the Canadian government is taking with the United States in regards to additional sanctions that I spoke to with the Russian or Venezuelan shadow fleets, and what steps are being taken, if any, to mitigate these effects on nations like Cuba?
Mr. Chair, unfortunately, I don't have information on any discussions. I'm not privy to discussions with the United States with regards to our sanctions on shadow fleet. What I can say is that we do have regular and ongoing discussions with our U.S. counterparts, including with respect to Cuba and our mutual concerns about the Cuban people and their state and well-being.
So given the shift in the American strategy, has there been any long-term reassessments of Canada's Caribbean strategy?
Thank you, Chair. Obviously, we are all looking at the shift in what has happened in the last number of months and how that impacts our interests in the region. But I can't speculate on any future strategy for the Americas or a change in policy as a result of that at this time.
Okay, thank you. Changing lanes a wee bit, could you please answer why has the Government of Canada refused to impose targeted Magnitsky-style sanctions on senior Cuban officials responsible for human rights abuses, while it has sanctioned officials from other regimes for far less? So I'm curious what message this sends to dictators around the world.
I'm not sure. I mean, I think it's a legitimate question in general, but I think given today's focus on the humanitarian situation and consular affairs for Canadians, I think that question is a little bit out of scope. I was willing to kind of give you more discretion for the earlier questions, but this one kind of goes a little bit out of scope, and I would urge the member to please come back to the focus of the hearing.
Fair. So could we perhaps have some more details on the aid package? There was media reports that aid package is being sent to Cuba. Could you speak more specifically to what could be included in that?
Unfortunately, I can't speak more specifically to what may be included in the aid package. What I can say is that as Ministers LeBlanc and Ministers Anand have stated, we will provide humanitarian assistance. We are ready to provide humanitarian assistance to the Cuban people, and we're waiting, discussing with humanitarian partners on the ground in order to determine what will be included in that package.
Thank you. Thank you very much.